Choices we make. So I was having a think about this today. So today was my son's second birthday. And I spoke the other day about taking time and the shift of perspective. Because when he first came around, we were not sure he was going to make it, period. And now he is a thriving, beautiful little boy. And I don't know what we'd do without him. And it's incredible to see how much he is excelling in life. And even just down to the random little things like, he got presents today, obviously. Normally, we assume anyway, we're basing on our own experiences, but for my daughter's second birthday, she didn't really understand what was going on. It was kind of like, what the fuck is this? He got it. He was like, presents. Yes, let me rip open this paper. Let me get to my new toys. He got the concept. And it was beautiful to watch just how far this little man has come. But yeah, it made me think about our choices and what we choose in life. And it's always the harsh one that I come back to with all of this stuff of your life reflects your choices. So if you don't like where your life is, the harsh reality is it's your fucking fault. Make better choices. And look, I am still, if we just put it on a purely physical level, I am still deeply unsatisfied with where I am at. I'm getting a hell of a lot better. I've come a long way in the 49 days since starting this. And yet I'm still why am I not back at that, lean, shredded, sculpted version of myself I was? And I know that's an unrealistic standard, but my choices led me to this place where I'm unhappy with it. And my choices are now leading me back. And so when you look at your life, it reflects what your choices were before, your past you and your choices that you previously made. But on the flip side of that, I think it's also choices matter in terms of other things. The concept that I was coming to today was about balance. I think balance is a fucking lie. And look, that's probably easy for me to say as someone who is an all or nothing type of person. When I'm in, I am fucking in and I do the shit. And when I'm not, I'm not. And it's just built into my DNA. I am addicted, and there is no other way to state it, but I am addicted to energy drinks, particularly Monster. I fucking love them. And more so than just the caffeine hit, because I drink way too many. I really like drinking them. And they're terrible for you. They're just flat out fucking bad for you. And I know this. And it's one of those things that's doesn't really mesh with all the other things I teach. And I'd given them up. And I was on a subscription and they delivered another 48 fucking cans to me and I wouldn't take them back. So I kept them. And I've now drunk them. They are all gone. And as of tomorrow, I'm going cold turkey again. There'll be no more Monsters. And that's just kind of the way I live. But I also think it's actually true of how successful people live. And look, I'm not as successful as I know I should be because, again, the choices I've made. I have made choices to chase dopamine, to sedate, to take the easy road out, to avoid the struggle. And thus has led me to where I'm at. I'm now changing that and I'm shifting that and I'm doing the right things again. But my current reality is a reflection of my past choices. But I think there is merit and truth in those statements of things you have to be all in on the things that matter to you. And I was talking to a friend about this and they were like, isn't that a contradictory statement? And I was like, no, because you can shift what you're all in at in different phases of the day even. like, or the week, or the month, or the year. You know, my all in and my number one priority is always my family. So today, that's what I chose first. And my kids had a fantastic day. To allow my wife to set up the party, from 8:30 this morning, I took them out. And I let my wife sleep in. And I took care of the kids. And it was a fucking great day. I loved it. And it was amazing. We went to the markets with one of their surrogate uncles. They had a great time playing there. We then went and saw horses and cows and sheep, and we drove around. We went to the park, and then we had the party, and then I read them stories and cuddled them until they went to sleep. So it was a fantastic day, but I didn't do a single fucking thing on my list until 6:30 at night. So now we're at 10:10 at night, and I'm finishing up the last things on my list, and I have powered through that shit to get here. But for the majority of my day, and this happens most Sundays, family is my number one priority. They are the thing that comes first, and I am all fucking in on that, and I don't think about any of the other stuff. I'm just there to be present, to be with my children, to look after them, to make them feel loved and special, and produce the best experiences that I can possibly produce for them. And then when they go to sleep, I then do all my other shit. And I go all in on that. Because that is also a huge priority for me. But it doesn't mean that, finding balance is the best one I ever saw it is if you talk about balance in like terms of a scale, it's 0. You are 0% in on it. And I would rather be, when I am focusing on something, I am 100% all fucking in. All my attention, all my focus, all my effort, everything is onto that one thing. And when I'm done with that one thing, I move on to the other thing. It gets 100% of my attention, and I'm all in. And that's how I live my life. That everything that I focus on in that moment gets 100% of my attention. That's how you deliver greatness. That's how you achieve a better life. That's how you progress towards things of meaning, of value, of those kinds of things. This is where the difference lies. And it just comes back to those choices. So I think there's something to be said on that fact. And as I said, this idea of balance, I think it's bullshit. Like, you cannot create this balance. It means you're never fully in. Like these people who are like, oh, well, my family's important, but, in the middle of our day together, I'm just going to sequester out 2 hours and just disappear. No, or you're not really present. You might be there, but you're not present. You're on your phone. You're, thinking of what you're going to do, like what you're going to eat, what you're going to text people, what you're going to watch tonight. No, you need to be present and in the moment. It doesn't mean, like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean there are moments that I don't slip out, but when I consciously pull myself back to be present and be in the moment with them. And it's an ever-growing thing. More and more I'm leaving my phone in the other room because I will be on it. Text messages, notifications, all that kind of stuff. Because, even just that, like, knee-jerk reaction to pull it out and have a look at something. So I try and leave it in the other room. So if I'm going to go check it, it has to be a true conscious decision. And I need a reason beyond just, hey, let's look at my phone. This is this thing that, like, and I'm guilty of it. Like, don't get me wrong when I'm trying to preach from a place of, condoning you. I get it. Like, I'm chronically, well, I was, and I'm working on it, giving up on social media, giving up on this thing. But when I go to take a crap, I'm sitting there on my phone, spamming Instagram reels, go to take a piss, pull out my phone, waiting for a couple of minutes, pull out my phone. We need to get back into this, even presence in boredom, like 100% all in on just what we're doing. We don't need to be occupied. We don't need to be distracted. And like, I'm on all of those things. Like, if I'm going to do menial tasks, I listen to podcasts or audiobooks or things like this. And I'm like, why? Like, why do we need to be, entertained the whole time? And this is a slow slog for me. I'm picking the things that at least don't bring me value. At least the podcasts and the audiobooks and stuff bring me value and things that I can utilize in other areas. But still, I don't want to be reliant on being occupied all the time. And I think there is something deeply concerning on that one. And it all comes down to our choices and our choices on how we make use of the time and use of the space we're at. But I think the choices matter. And I think when you're in a moment of whatever it is, whether it's work, whether it's with your family, with your kids, with your wife, with your friends, with clients, with yourself, whatever it is, be 100% present. Be all in on that moment and do the work. Just 100% in everything that you do. And you're not going to get that all the time. You just won't. But it's about getting better at that. It's about keeping your word. It's about bringing yourself back to that alignment of who you truly are and who you want to be, not this shell of the version of who you are right now. You're a shell of the man that you could be. So strive for better. Strive to do better, to be better, to act better. And that comes from first deciding who you are in here and then keeping your word and then doing the actions. And over time, the projection will come out into every aspect of your life. So that's all I have for you today. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but as I said, it's been a long day. And I wanted to get on here and share that with you before I hit the sack and we get back at it again tomorrow. So talk to you then.